This episode is brought to you by Snoop Dogg and his legendary inspirational quote, rolling down the street, smoking Indo, snipping on gin and juice, laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Welcome to the Stephan Dyer Podcast, my people. Hello, my people. Today's guest is Carlos Brito. He's a Canadian-Ecuadorian entrepreneur, banker, father, husband, and is mostly well known for being the founder and CEO of BARRIO, a Toronto-born apparel company. You cannot get on the subway or a bus in Toronto or walk through the Eaton Centre, Yorkdale, Kensington, whatever, without seeing someone with a BARRIO cap, shirt, or a hoodie. It's insane. As their website says, Barrio seeks to inspire, guide, and motivate la gente with their events, products, and services. And man, they have certainly achieved that. Barrio is a way of life, and what started as an apparel company quickly turned into Toronto's Latin brand, a lifestyle brand. Okay, my people, I cannot be more proud of this guy. Please enjoy the legend, the man, the incredible Carlos Brito. Welcome to the Stephan Dyer Podcast. I got the unbreakable, the unmistakable, the highly capable, the Barrio CEO, the Canadian-Ecuadorian mogul, the ambassador of North York, banker in the day, tycoon by night. The main man, Carlos Brito. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here, bro.
I'm excited to have you, man. We met exactly 4 years ago. Do you remember when we met?
I remember perfectly where we met. At La Liga.
At La Liga, man.
And
it was November 19, 2016.
Guy, I swear to you, man, like, I thought, my friend, one of the owners there, he said, why don't you come by, sell your merchandise? And I didn't have much to sell, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I just had hats and maybe a few T-shirts, but the main focus was the hats. And I thought to myself, you know what? Yeah, why not? And so I go there, and then that's when I see you guys for the first time, you and Juan, and I thought you guys were hilarious, man.
We were both starting, and it was really funny because after the show, we were like, okay, let's talk. Let's get in touch. You're starting with this. We're starting with our comedy thing. Both have a huge fan base, I would say, in the Hispanic Canadian community. And then we exchange numbers. And then we're like, okay, where do you work? And you're like, downtown. I'm like, oh, me too, downtown. And you're like, okay, where? You're like, Scotia Plaza. I'm like, oh, me too, Scotia Plaza. I'm like, what company? You're like, Scotiabank. I'm like, me too, Scotiabank. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell? Okay.
I remember Juan didn't believe it. I had to show my business card. I'm like, and he was like, oh my God. So it was like a match made in heaven.
And then we just went downstairs and had a coffee.
That's right.
And talked about it. Now it's exactly 4 years after.
Time flies, man.
Insane. And the good thing is that both Barrio and Malpensando are still going strong. And I think that you hit it. How do you say it in English? You hit the nail in the head?
Yeah.
Or is that the wording?
Yeah. You can say it that way.
You hit the nail in the head.
On the head.
On the head. Yeah, there you can't go in the head. You hit the nail. So, see, I'm an immigrant, but you are more Canadian. I love it. Okay, so you started Barrio before the summer of 2016. I saw a newspaper, an article online on CBC that talked about how a baseball cap went into a whole new brand and exploded downtown. How did this start?
I was trending on people's iPhones, man. So it's at first I sold to my friends and family.
Yeah.
But I knew I could sell more, and my friends and family, their friends wanted the hats. So we made a second round of hats. I think we made 80 or something like that. We sold those right away. But
the idea started with your brother, and it was...
Yes, the idea started... Well, what happened was we would always wear Toronto-inspired clothing.
Yeah.
T-Dot or the Six and all that stuff. But I thought, I mean, it'd be so cool to have like a Latin one, right?
Yeah.
So my brother thought of the word, and then we were messing around with the design, and then, geez, we we replaced the I with the CN Tower, and that was it.
Man,
That was
I
it.
cannot go on the TTC on a bus. I can't walk downtown North York, Yorkdale,
Yeah.
anywhere without watching Barrio apparel. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So your mom is from Durang in Ecuador,
Durang, yes.
next to Guayaquil, and your dad is from
Guamote.
next to Riobamba, also
Yes,
Ecuador.
yes.
But you were born and raised in Canada.
In Toronto, Canada.
In Toronto,
yes.
same as your brother.
Both of us, yep.
And dude, I think that you are Toronto. Like you
Oh,
are,
jeez.
you are immigrant parents, the immigrant hustle. You're a responsible, successful banker, but you got the side hustle. You promote Hispanic culture. You're super proud of your roots, and at the same time, you love the Raptors. You love the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
To your daughter, you also have instilled that Latin culture.
Yeah, yeah.
You even brought us to Vaughn back in
at a
2017
function. That's right.
to give comedy in Spanish.
yeah.
And at the same time, I think that's what the people have appreciated, because in a way, you are helping us immigrants retain our Hispanic identity. Like, we feel proud of being Latinos, but a lot of us also feel very Canadian.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Firstly, I'm super passionate about Toronto and the city. And of course, I'm passionate about my culture and where I'm from. Like, you know, and we have so much going for us, man. Like our food, our music, our people, the style of clothing,
dancing,
just everything.
Sports,
you know? And I always thought, like, as my focus changed, like when I started, Stephan, really when I started the company, it was all about money.
Yeah.
I just want to make money.
Yeah.
But then I realized that people were not just buying the physical product; they were buying the idea behind the product.
Yeah,
like
man.
The name. They wanted to be associated with Barrio. I realized I could kind of inspire a bit. You know what I mean?
100%.
And so my focus kind of changed to that. And interestingly enough, when I changed my focus from money to that, but the money came anyway. It was still there. You know, it was just I just shifted my focus. And now I'm just so passionate about the brand, about bringing visibility to our culture. I have something what we call what I call free shout out Wednesdays.
I've seen it.
Yeah, on my page, on my Instagram page. But the amount, I can't post them all, but the amount of messages that, hey, could you post my business? Could you post my business? So, you know, just to bring visibility even to those small businesses, right? Because, you know, we're all out there doing our thing, man. And if I can help, I want to be able to do that.
I think you've set an incredible example to Hispanic Canadian entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. I saw some interviews of you online, and I heard that many people have emailed you saying that you've inspired them to start their hustle, to start their own businesses, to start their own ideas. Yeah. And this
That's
is just
incredible.
a small idea that exploded. I mean, it's for the people who are watching us and listening to us right now, like in Costa Rica, El Salvador, Ecuador, Mexico, or Montreal or Vancouver, you cannot walk around Toronto without seeing, I mean, Barrio, baseball caps, T-shirts, the sweaters. It's incredible. And every time it's just exponential, even in 2017. And I think it's that pride of some Hispanics who were born here, or Hispanic parents, second generation. Some of them can't speak Spanish that well. They speak English better than Spanish.
Of course, yeah.
And this simple idea...
Like me.
Yeah, like you. Well, you speak Spanish, but the simple idea of Barrio, the hood, like the favela in a way, where I'm from, it just encompasses that Hispanic pride of, yes, I'm Canadian and I am Latino. Yes, I speak better English and I love Spanish.
Yeah.
Yes, I listen to Drake and I love salsa or merengue or bachata or reggaeton.
Absolutely.
It's incredible what a word can do. And I think you've been the key to this. One of your most genius moves, and I want you to tell me about this, is that on your Instagram, instead of hiring models or people to wear the brand and look good and be like super perfect, instead you've hired nobody and used your customers, your clients, people who wear your brand as your models.
Yeah.
And people send you, I'm impressed, hundreds of pictures a month.
Yeah.
Tagging you with people wearing, not just like in Muskoka or Toronto, like everywhere in Latin America where they go.
In Europe, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
How did this thing go about, and you picking your customers to be your models?
Well, this is what happened. We had a photo shoot ready.
Yeah.
And then I started realizing, I said, wow, people are actually tagging me on their photos wearing my stuff.
Yeah.
So I began to repost these. And it didn't, I can't tell you that it was my idea, but like, I reposted one, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to do this thing. And I had some, good looking people to wear the clothes and take some pictures and whatever, right? And then I had somebody message me and say, listen, I tagged you on something, but you didn't repost me. And I said, okay, no, I'm gonna repost you. I just thought, I can't repost it all at once. I had like a roster of pictures, right? So I would repost maybe one a day or whatever, right? And then this was before Instagram even had stories, because now I can shoot them up on my stories.
Yeah.
Before I couldn't put all these pictures on my feed, and then I would get another one, and people would be upset. And I was like, listen, you know what? There's no sense in me doing that when I have raw people buying these. And then I kind of put a marketing twist to it. I said, what did I say? I would put like my hat beside a passport. Yeah. And I said, like, don't leave home without it. But people were buying the stuff before they leave. I said I would call it a travel essential.
Yeah.
Right? And people would buy it. And then I had marketing material for days. That was pretty. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because sometimes myself I don't think about that.
I think this pandemic has allowed us to just look back, breathe, and in a way see how far we've come. Dude, we met each other 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Both brands were starting.
Yeah.
And we were both at Scotiabank. And at the same time, those brands could have died like a month after. Like it was just an idea kind of starting. Yeah. Obviously, there were some people behind it and very passionate people behind the business. But it could have gone sideways easily, like many other ideas go. And then not just people started being really passionate about it, but then you got these huge baseball celebrities and reggaeton artists. You got Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion from when they were in the Jays.
That was a bat flip time.
Yeah.
So they were at the peak.
That was October 2015.
Okay, so then that was the other year when Edwin Encarnacion hit a big home run.
Yeah. And they were wearing it downtown.
Yeah.
And then I remember vividly, because we were friends, when you posted the first time that CNCO wore the hat.
Yes, that was big,
dude.
For me.
And then Maluma wore the sweater, and then
That's
the hat.
Still big for me.
And then Anuel did like a video and stories with like the hat, the chain. Then Karol G, Gente de Zona, El Gran Combo de Puerto Rico. And then now you got approached by Sony Canada. They want you to promote the song Del Mar of Ozuna.
Yeah.
They want you, the brand in the video, the promo video. Dude, it is incredible.
You know what? It's one of those things, right? Where you go through one door and then there's three more, and then you go through that one and there's more. And for whatever you got to put yourself in a position to be lucky as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, these things happened, and I tell you, man, like that was it brings legitimacy. It's good for the ego too.
Yeah.
But it brings legitimacy to the brand.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, out of all those people, you would think, okay, you tell me, who do you think was the game changer for me out of all those artists that you mentioned? Who do you think was the game changer that made the biggest impact?
Well, I would think that the first one, CNCO, because that's the first big photo that you had.
Yeah.
But maybe when Maluma wore it or Anuel in that video, it just blew up.
Okay, so when Anuel wore it, that really was a game changer. Because I was it's almost like the city had the culture had my back.
Yeah.
I have pictures of all the reposts.
Yeah.
And I was like...
I even reposted it.
And you never repost anything of mine. Anyways, the amount of love, you feel good, man. Like, all these people, and I don't know everybody, man. And it's just, Anuel's wearing Barrio. Anuel's wearing Barrio. Anuel's wearing
Yeah.
Barrio. And I was just reposting. And I kind of like put it, I saved them all. I got them.
Yeah.
Like there was like so many people reposted that, like more than anyone else. And that really, I can't even tell you how many followers I got after that and how many of those hats I sold after that.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
going to be on your Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
You know the Vince Carter documentary on Netflix? That's going to be you in 10 years, man.
What really, that was a game changer. But, and I'm not to discount Maluma, like that sweater that Maluma was wearing, the one with the colors.
Maluma's listening to this right now. He's offended.
Maluma. Bro, that sweater was,
Sold
those
out.
sweaters were sitting in a box. I couldn't move them. I could not move those sweaters. Before he wore them. I thought to myself, because I don't buy, like there's a lot of people that do drop shipping. I invest in in myself. Like I actually buy the sweaters and I have them at home and I ship them out, right? When he wore it, I thought, oh my God, like this guy, and it was a nice picture. Like he put it on his,
It was
on
a
his
very
feed,
nice
right?
picture.
Like it was done nicely. And then I sold out. I bought more. I sold out again. I bought more. I sold it again. I made them in white hoodies.
Yeah.
Sold out, I don't know, several, maybe 100 or so. I made t-shirts, I made hats, sold. But I exhausted the whole Maluma vibe with that whole logo. Like I did. And now I've kind of like finally, because what I do is I kind of like put that logo away for now, and maybe I'll bring it back in a couple of years, 2-3 years.
Man, that's a genius move. I know
Maluma.
I know that you're a very hard worker, because back when I met you in 2016 and 17, we were going for coffees a lot when I worked at the bank, and you were telling me like, dude, every order I gotta go and like ship it. I gotta put it in the box, go ship it. It was you handling the e-commerce. It's probably just you. Man, you should get helpers, man. I see that website. I see the Instagram moving. Everything you post. How has the learning curve been? Because you can't. You're in banking. You didn't study e-commerce.
No.
How has that transition been to having a side hustle that literally blew up?
I'll be honest with you, man. It was very difficult, nerve-wracking, because as you know, there's no pause button, and sometimes I wish there was.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to keep it moving, right? With respect to like fulfilling orders, my wife and daughter, they help me.
Yeah, I see that, man.
They help me. My wife, my wife goes to the post office with all the boxes and stuff like that, and it's incredible because now like the post office people are our friends, and they know because they they see
they're all wearing Barrio.
Never mind, man. Que vergüenza, bro. Today, I think it was last week, the worker that's been there for many years said, "Are you ever gonna give me a body sweater?" And I was like, you know what? You're so right, man. I got to bring you one, and so I have to bring her a body sweater. But anyways, yeah. So I got a lot of help. My daughter's sole job is to look for content, like Latin related content that I can post on my feed.
Incredible.
But at the same time, I also, just by virtue of having a lot of followers, I don't like saying that word followers, but anyways.
I mean, that's the word.
I know that's what it is. But I get a lot of messages as well saying, hey, listen, you might want to post this. This is what's going on. Like I didn't know what was going on. I did not know what was going on in Peru.
Yeah.
So I got a message saying, hey, this is what's going on. Maybe you want to bring some light to it. Otherwise, I would never know. And I want people to know, that, you know, I have my ear to the ground. But sometimes like just message me if there's something that I got to post. Let me know. And eventually I can't get to all the messages because it gets kind of crazy.
Yeah, dude, right? It's almost like the Latino community is holding you accountable because you are like a symbol.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea, but the amount of messages say, "Can you post this? Can you post this? Can you post that?" I can't keep up with that stuff.
I know,
and I don't want to come across as being an ass because you want to please everyone.
Yeah.
But in business, as you know,
100%.
You're not going to make everybody happy, and so sometimes you get some of those messages, which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, but it goes with the like. I mean, if you don't have thick skin, you have no.
100%.
You cannot be in business.
100%.
Yeah.
And then you got a bunch of people messaging you, hey, I'll give you this if you post this, or I'll give you exposure. And you can't pay your bills with exposure.
No, I always say that. I always say that, man. I can't deposit exposure in the bank.
yeah. I've seen you.
And I'm a banker, so I know.
I know. And dude, were there people at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
that were kind of haters, where they're like, dude, where do you think this is going? Who do you think you are? And now they're like, oh man, Barrio, incredible. Now they're on board.
Yeah, there's always that. Okay, there's a couple things. Yeah, some people they looked at the logo and they're like, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
And this was at the beginning, and so obviously they were incorrect. Others were saying, yo, you got to do something else, man, because the logo's getting kind of tiring and you're putting it on all your stuff and people are going to stop buying it. Very incorrect again.
Yeah.
And then haters in general, buddy, I don't have peripheral vision. I look that way.
Yeah, laser
I can't see
focus.
this way. You know, como esos caballos, those horses that have those things on the side, that they're downtown so they don't get startled. Bro, I have those, man. You just can't see them. I don't look backwards. I don't look sideways. I just got the pedal to the metal and I go that way. And a hater's going to hate, bro. And you got to keep on going. It doesn't matter. And it comes with the territory. You have no business being in business if you don't have thick skin.
100%. I've seen some people who wanted to kind of like copy the brand, or they were doing different designs and they were like, well, if this guy did it, I'll do it. And where are they? I haven't heard of them since I haven't seen any other products.
Yeah.
It takes like passion, discipline, drive, determination, because you're not becoming a millionaire out of this. Like at the first year, you're investing lots of time on this. People at work are starting to ask you, hey, what's going on? What's all this thing about?
Yeah.
Are you committed to the job, or are you committed to your other thing?
Yep.
Your wife and daughter sometimes are sacrificing their time to help you with this.
Yes.
So you better love the brand, and I commend you for that, man. Big respect.
I sacrifice at the expense of my family, honestly. Like, I've spent a lot of time out, meetings or work.
Yeah.
And I not that I miss just quality time with my family. Now, because due to COVID, like I've it's just been an awakening for me, man. I'm not going back to that previous life. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Now there's a big difference between spending quality time and spending time with your family. Like, I can be on my sofa, being on my phone. I could be there physically, but I'm not there here, man. I'm on my
100%.
phone, and I'm here with my wife, and and that's what I used to be like. Now I leave my phone in. I may miss your call, but I will call you back.
Yeah.
But I have to leave my phone in the kitchen because otherwise I'll be on it.
Yeah.
So I leave it over there, and I spend quality time with my family.
100%.
Because because when I was all I want, because bro, it's all a numbers game, man,
Yeah.
and it never ends. Like, I remember when I got 1,000 followers, I'm like, 2,000 now. And then when I got 2,000 followers, I can't wait till 5,000. When does it end?
Never.
Like right now, even myself, because I work on my mindset daily.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm like, don't think that way. Like I'm talking to myself. Like, that little hamster in that wheel doesn't get off that wheel.
Yeah.
But so I think, like, I have whatever 18,000 followers. I'm like, I can't wait till I get 20. And then I'm like, why are you even focused? Like, get off of that. So
Yeah.
then I kind of like trying to train my mind not to think that way.
Big
And it's
time.
always like, and you got to work on it, right? So I'm always working on my mind and saying, what's important and stuff like that. And obviously spending time with your family is important, man.
Yeah.
So I try to, when I'm there, I try to be there.
I have a thing where I turn my phone off from 10:30 at night to 9:30 in the morning, and I just leave it in the den, like right here in my studio. And I'm just present. I wake up, I'm there. Sometimes I don't even touch it until 10:30 or 11 a.m.
Wow.
And I got my screen time. It's like a little competition that I got with my life coach, with my growth coach Blanca, where the iPhone gives you your average daily screen
Yes.
time. And it used to be like 5 hours, like a year ago. That 5 hours that I was on my screen time every day. Now, last week I brought it down, like my record, to 2 hours and 30 minutes a day per day.
Man, I'm at 5 now.
Yeah, it's hard
I'm at
because
5
it's
now.
hard because we work on our phones. We
Yeah.
got the shows, the workshops, posting. Our communities are kind of not waiting for content, but there's every time you post, they want to see because you represent the community in a way. So, but at the same time, we were just talking about the One Thing book, and it says it's bad or inefficient to do the same thing 9 different times a day? Why don't you just do it one time and then spend less time than the addition of those 9 separate times? I know with social media it's a little different because you got to post in different times a day, but why don't I post at 12 o'clock at noon and then 8 p.m.? There's nothing stopping me. Another thing that I've done is I only check my email at 12 o'clock at noon and 4 p.m. Like, nobody's going to die. I'm not that important. If it's really important, they'll call me.
You're so right.
And that's allowed me to spend more time with my son, with my wife. We go out on walks now, every now and then. And those are the things that I remember. Like, I don't remember, like, posting this story or the other one or this comment or the other one. Those are the things that make me feel better, you know?
Yeah.
It's a balance.
No, I'm glad we're having this chat because that's a definite goal of mine is to bring it down from 5 to like about maybe 3.5.
Yeah.
You know, and I think for me I would be very happy with myself if I can do that.
Another thing is we're not as efficient when we do everything. So a question for you is a question that I've asked myself is, would I be better off or happier if I pay an intern $20 an hour for 10 hours a month to do this task that I hate or that I don't enjoy as much, or that would buy me more time with my son and wife?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, then just get someone to be your social media manager or to deal with the tasks that you don't want to do for e-commerce or go to Shoppers Drug Mart and do the post deliveries or whatever. And maybe that's for you to go jogging or to go to the gym or to watch the Raptors or to be with your daughter, you know?
Of course.
It's the little things that make a huge difference. I read the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferris.
4-Hour Workweek, okay.
Game changer. The one thing, big game changer. And
you're not gonna read these.
100%.
Okay.
Now I want to ask you, because we were both bankers. Towards the end of my banking career, a lot of people were asking me, are you committed to being here? Are you committed to becoming a director eventually? Do you want to grow in the company? Because I see you doing your comedy shows a lot, and I see you on Facebook sometimes at the bank, and I see you making these calls, and I see you're more passionate about this other thing outside of work. Do you really want to be here? Are you a comedian or are you a banker? And my response was like, I'm a comedian and a banker. Like, what's the big deal? Like, why do you have to be one thing?
Yeah.
And now I'm a comedian, I'm a father, I'm a friend, I'm an athlete, I'm a person who loves to watch sports. I love jogging. I mean, I love meditating. Like, why do we have to label everything?
Yeah.
How have you navigated this work hustle balance? Because in the corporate world, they're not as friendly to us having a big project outside of it, and people misinterpret it for not being committed at work.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things. I really enjoy what I do at the bank.
Amazing.
1,000%. I really, really do. It came to a point where when I was approached at the bank because they caught wind of what I was doing, and I didn't realize that it's actually HR policy to disclose when you have a certain, like, I don't know how many thousands of followers, because they want to ensure that you're not saying anything stupid and then people find out you work at the bank.
Really?
Yeah. So I didn't know that. So anyways, whatever. So that happened. And I had to have a few conversations because management has changed. So we're reporting up to different areas of the bank.
Yeah.
But anyways, when I had to, my first conversation was with my VP, and I really had to tell her, well, she wanted to know if I was committed, like you said.
Yeah.
And I knew, well, this meeting was scheduled, so I kind of rehearsed, and I thought, oh my God, but I gotta prepare. I gotta be prepared. That I might get let go here, you know, or whatever.
100%. And with the layoffs that they're doing and replacing people with machines, you gotta be prepared.
Absolutely. So I did. I said, listen, I love working here. I enjoy doing what I do for a living. I'm in the risk management area, and I really enjoyed that. Half of my closest friends are
yes,
you know, I work with, and but I may not be as ambitious as I once was. So, like, if you're asking me if I want to be a director or a VP or SVP, probably not. I want to do what I'm doing now and continue to do that and do it well, because it would allow me the flexibility to do some of the stuff that I do on the side and spend time with my family. And then I remember looking at my VP and she was like, and I was like,
you just looked down.
And then, she said, it was, you could tell she was disappointed, but at the same time, she respected my decision. She said, we need people that just, you don't want to be, even banks, for how big they are, they don't want to be top heavy either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, there's always, succession planning and stuff like that. But it just wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. Because I knew once the money started catching up, I thought, I could maybe just do this full time. And I honestly think that if I were to do the body thing full time, it'd probably be bigger than it is today. But the thing is, it's just tough. There's a few things. It's just tough to let go of something that you really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Now I'm working from home. I was working from home pre-COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not like, whatever, but it just gives me a little bit more flexibility, and I'm not that I take advantage of the time, but it just gives me a little bit more flexibility to do other things. And, and it works. Maybe one day it won't, man, but for now, it really works.
I think you just mentioned something that's really valuable, which is you've kind of hit that sweet spot. Mm-hmm. And sometimes upper management, their head explodes when you're like, I don't want to continue to climb the corporate ladder. I don't want to be a VP. I don't want to be a CEO. As
I'm talking to my VP.
Yeah.
I don't want to be you.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit in your chair.
Exactly. I mean, that was me. Like, there was a point where I wanted to continue to climb the corporate ladder. I was in risk management as well.
Yeah.
And in similar to risk management, I was in private banking writing credits that risk management would adjudicate. But I wanted to continue to climb that because if I was to arrive to GRM, Global Risk Management, then the next step would be to being sent to Latin America, which would have eventually landed me a spot close to Costa Rica or in Costa Rica, where the majority of my family is. So that was the dream, to continue to climb.
Was the dream.
Was exactly. Yeah. And then you just hit a sweet spot where you're like, well, maybe this is where I want to be because I'm enjoying this. Mm-hmm. Or you just reach another point like me where you're like, I want to quit and do something different. For me was my comedy career. And once I met my wife and now I have a son with her, it's like, this is my home. Toronto is home. And the Barrio logo, the Barrio brand, I think, makes us feel like home. The people who never felt like home here sometimes, it's like my case was like, I was born in Costa Rica, but my entire family is Peruvian. Mm-hmm. So, I was never really 100% Costa Rican in Costa Rica because I was Peruvian. My blood is Peruvian, I guess. Yeah. Then I moved to El Salvador, obviously not Salvadorian. I was Costa Rican. Then I moved to Mexico. I was definitely not Mexican. Then Montreal, I wasn't Quebecois. And then Toronto. And then lately, it's just when I got married and when I had my kid, I was like, man, this is home. Mm-hmm. And I think that the Barrio brand and the Barrio, the hats and the shirts, it kind of, it's like, dude, that's me. I'm not 100% this. I'm not 100% that. I'm just like in the middle, in that sweet spot.
Yeah.
And it's got you to crazy places to the point that you created the Más Festival. How was that, man?
What an experience, man. Like, Nico and I, we really, wow, that was, it was a rude awakening.
Yeah.
We had X amount of dollars, and we thought, oh, wow, this is going to be enough. Not enough, bro.
For context, it was a big festival, summer of 2019, and you brought Justin Quiles. For how many people was the whole festival? 2 days, 3 days?
Yeah, so when Justin Quiles was there on the Saturday, we had like almost 3,000 people. And on the following day, it was more of a salsa thing. We had Yanko Yasso, Salseros with Attitude, is a local band who's just completely freaking awesome.
Yeah, they're incredible.
And I can't remember exactly who else, but and on the Sunday we did not have, the turnout wasn't the same, so in hindsight we should have collapsed them into a day.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, when you put and outdoor festival is what we wanted to do. We did not want to do this in an arena or whatever. But so you just don't realize the expenses just with the stage, the lighting, the porta potties, the fence, the security guards.
Yeah,
buddy. So let's just say you have this amount of money, like a pile of money, and then you just see it go down and down and down and down. We're like, okay, now what are we gonna do? You know, make sure we got enough money for Justin Quiles.
Yeah, and you got to pay that up front, like before.
Yeah. So but now we've learned from it, and honestly, we had something huge lined up for this year, and it didn't happen. But we're ready. We're ready for when things open up, when things get better, whatever the new normal is. We're ready for that, and we just can't wait. We can't wait.
But like, besides the complications of the logistics, thousands of people came to the festival that you created.
Yeah.
Like we created this last March Latin Comedy Fest that you helped us promote. We're very grateful. I remember even the first tour that we did to Montreal, you helped us with a bunch of merch, Montreal, Mi Barrio, and that helped us a lot. Thank you. Yeah. We got 700 to 800 people in a theater, 400 and 400.
That's fantastic, buddy.
For 2 nights. We brought 18 comics from 11 different countries. We flew a bunch of them in. And 800 felt incredible. You know, it's celebrating the Hispanic culture through comedy. And you're celebrating Hispanic culture. Man, thousands of people came to that.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
It felt good. The thing is, what happened was, it's just because I'm trying not to be a control freak. I can't do everything.
Yeah.
You have to use your resources and say, okay, you're in charge of that. You're
delegate.
Loco, if I tell you, man, like when some of the vendors were looking for ice, they called me.
Yeah.
Go grab ice. This guy's looking for a chair. Go get him a chair. Like the vendors, because they need an extra chair. Someone took their chair. And the booth came with 2 chairs, and there was only one. But finding a chair, otherwise they're upset. You don't want, making sure there's enough water, alcohol, food. Like even just the food, like it was difficult to manage, but it felt really, really, really good. We were really happy with the turnout. We thinking back and what we've learned, we could have gotten more people, which is fine. It's one of the things that
those are the learnings.
Yeah, absolutely. The learning curve. It was a learning curve, but. It felt really good when Justin Quiles came out and the people went crazy, and the amount of people that tagged us on their videos. And it's just it's a feel. I can't even explain the feeling.
Did he wear Barrio apparel?
No, he did not. But he did get a gift bag, and I'll be honest with you, I give so many people artists stuff, and they have just not maybe they weren't feeling it. Or just did not want to wear it, or whatever. And some do, and that's part of marketing, right? You do what you can, and so Justin Quiles probably said, "What is this? I'm not wearing that."
He probably gets a lot of other things.
Yeah, I know, absolutely, man. So it is what it is. But I know he enjoyed it. He had a lot of fun, bro. If I tell you, man, do you know that he missed his flight?
No,
he missed his flight, and I saw Nico, my partner. It's Nico P. And
business partner.
Yeah, business partner.
But maybe you never know, because you guys are together all the time. Shout out to Nico P, who's listening to us.
So he was all like, he was in the corner with his laptop, and I'm like, yo, what's up, man? He's like, yeah, don't worry. I'm like, no, I worry, bro. What's going on? This is Saturday. He's supposed to be here, and he's like, yo, this guy missed his flight.
From where?
He was, I don't know, he was from Central. I don't know where he was. I can't remember now. He might have been in California. I can't remember. But anyway, I was like, buddy, I went panic. I'm not, I don't, first of all, I don't know what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
What do you do?
You got thousands of people coming.
Yeah, they're coming to see this guy.
And it's your ass on the line.
And I'm like, how are we going to, I'm like, Nico, please. He goes, bro, I'm figuring it out. That's why I didn't want to tell you. I'm figuring this thing out. And I'm like, oh my God. So I don't know how we got there. Nico took care of it, obviously. And yeah, man. And he knocked it out of the park. It was so much fun. Much fun.
For these 4 years, I can't believe it's been 4 years since we started this whole thing. What's been like the biggest learning? If you could go back and be like, man, if I had learned this 4 years ago, this would have been a much smoother ride. I know that the learnings are some of the best things, but what have you learned? Is it the thick skin? Is it e-commerce that you would have facilitated? Is it like starting to get your clients as your models sooner? Is it maybe quit your bank job?
Well, okay, there's a couple of things there too. First, the idea behind this brand, we were actually talking about in 2014. I wish I would have started then.
With the World Cup, man, it was huge.
Yeah, well,
Summer,
the thing is, it's just like, you have an idea and you just don't do it.
Yeah.
And you're like, why didn't I do it?
Yeah.
Like, I just, in my mind, sometimes I can't get it out of my mind. Like, how much further ahead would I be if I really did start in 2014?
Yeah.
You know? Okay. So there's that. And for those of you who are thinking of starting their own business, just start. Just do it. Because if not, then, you know.
This podcast took me 6 months to start.
Yeah.
Although it's okay because it took me a while to get the design, the concept.
Yeah.
Why
you want to get it right.
Yeah. But I started, like, I knew I was going to do it in a way. Mm-hmm. But if you start, you little by little get more confidence with small steps as opposed to having to launch a multi-million-dollar enterprise, you know? Just start small like you did.
Yeah, man. And there's a couple of things. Like, for example, in 2016, I would never have been able to do something like this.
Yeah.
Because I would have been nervous.
Yeah.
You know, and I would say, Nico, why don't you do it, man? Nico, why don't you do it? Nico, why don't you just do it? And so Nico would always do these things for me. And then after, you know, you start getting, like anything else, man. You do it once, you do it twice, start getting more comfortable. And now it's like, okay, well, let's just go. You want to do a podcast? Sure, let's do it. You know, it's one of those things. But yeah, with respect to even e-commerce, I mean, you know, just now, not even now, maybe it's been a year and a half ago, I started, you know, small things like I pre-sell things now.
Yeah.
Now, because I have favorable relationships with my suppliers, I can say, okay, you know, there's different payment terms with them.
Nice.
You know, there's just different things that I didn't know at the beginning, but because you don't have that relationship.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I used to buy some stuff in China. Okay. Then that went south. And then people are like, okay, well, go somewhere else. I'm like, yeah, but it's not that easy because now you got to order some samples.
Yeah.
Wash them. Make sure that the sleeves don't fall off after one wash. Make sure that the ink doesn't, like, you know.
It's huge.
And then make sure the sizing's right because I remember now where I get them made. They would send me a large and to fit my daughter. I'm like, bro, your sizing is all wrong. Like, you know what I mean? So it could take months.
Yeah.
To change a supplier. That's why I don't do that. You know, because then what if, okay, today you're buying a sweater off me and it's a medium.
Yeah.
So now you think you're a medium.
Yes.
So I change suppliers now. So you're gonna buy a medium and it's gonna be too tight on you. You're gonna say, what the hell's the matter? Why is this not?
Did I gain 10 pounds overnight?
So, you know, and these are things that you just learn on the go, bro. These are things maybe you didn't even think of because you don't sell clothes, so you don't know.
I didn't think of
so
that.
like these are things that, buddy, like it stresses me out. But you know, we try to get it, and thankfully I have patient customers because they're like, yo, but I bought an extra large from you last time, man, and I'm like, it's a new supplier. So, you know, you try to fix it, and they're like, no. I go, listen, man, we'll change it. Want to do a double XL or whatever? And, you know, you work with people, and everything's cool. But these are just things that you learn on the go. And that's why I don't like changing suppliers.
How many times have you changed over the 4 years?
My Canadian supplier, I have never changed. But once I started moving a lot of units, I started buying overseas.
If somebody's listening to this and they didn't have the context, they would think that we're selling drugs. Or you never know. You never know. Maybe we're just talking in code and T-shirts and caps or something else.
Well, check this out, man. Now that now I'm thinking. Now you got me. Now you got that hamster's not getting off that wheel again. Like I never sold tracksuits, right? And I didn't want to get into tracksuits.
Why?
But now, just because I knew what's happening now was going to happen. So it's like, I want an XL top, but a large pants. And I never, when I bought them, I have the ability to do that. But when I bought them, I wasn't thinking.
Yes.
So I want tracksuits. Give me 20 XL, 30 large, you know, the more pop, because there's a ratio. Like, you know, you sell more large than you do, you know what I mean, or whatever, right?
Okay, yes.
So, and then of course people get them. They're like, "Yo, the double XL top fit me, but the pants are too big."
Oh.
So I was like, "Damn it!" Like, so, you know, you try to work with them, and but these are things that even myself I'm working on. So, it's a little stressful, but I'm gonna get it, and because I'm scaling, man. Like, we started selling stuff in Colombia. Like,
really?
Yeah. So like, we had an office in Colombia now, so my buddy moved over there. Yeah, I didn't tell you.
Incredible, man. No.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So like, I got somebody over there, and we're trying to. He was wearing my the merchandise over there, and when he went to the gym, when he went to the wherever he went, people were like, what like that? I love that. What is it? And then one thing led to another. A few more artists, local artists, were in Colombia, and now
And what's the I in Barrio is the CN Tower for Toronto.
We're not replacing that.
What's the I in Colombia? What's the
No,
CN?
it's still the CN Tower.
Oh, it's the CN Tower.
Yeah,
Oh,
but we have a lot of articles of clothing that where it just says Barrio Toronto. It doesn't say it doesn't have the CN Tower.
Ah, okay.
Because you know what, Toronto's like. Buddy, Toronto's is like, we're up there
worldwide,
now. Yeah. It's almost like, I like to think, and I'm nowhere near that scale, but I like to think like you would see somebody in Ecuador wearing a New York Yankees cap,
100%,
or someone wearing a Barcelona jersey in
Guayaquil, Barcelona.
Yeah, no, Barcelona from Spain, but somebody wearing it in God knows where, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I like to think that, my hat can be like that. So I used to have, my goal was to have like a Boston one, a Vancouver one, a Calgary, a Montreal, of this. But I was like, no, enough of that. I took them all down.
I remember.
And now we're just having the CN Tower, because there's an influencer friend that I have in Miami. And she said, Carlos, so we were, chatting, and she goes, Carlos, I go, let me send you a couple of pieces. She was like, absolutely. I sent her some Barrio Miami things that I've made with a palm tree. It was a Miami skyline. And she called me when she got it. She's like, where's it? I wanted the Toronto. And I was like, shit, man. That's when I knew.
Yeah.
People want the Toronto stuff. They don't want the other stuff, man.
And even when you gave us the Montreal Mi Barrio,
yeah.
I remember you telling us that some had sold, but not at the rate of the Toronto ones.
Yeah.
But when I don't know if we told you this. Obviously, we went to Montreal.
Yeah.
We gave some to the local artists. They loved it. And then when we toured, when we quit the bank a couple months later, we went to Costa Rica, Colombia, and Miami. And you gave us so much apparel. Yeah, a bunch of them. Yourselves, yeah. And I gave one to my brother, to some friends, and they were loving it. People were asking,
really?
Yeah, man, they still wear it all the time.
Yeah.
And people ask them all the time.
Yeah.
So my brother Alexis has the Montreal Mi Barrio, and then he's got a Blue Jays cap. and people, I think you're right, man. It's like in Central America or where I was born and raised, like you see something like New York, Paris, or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's foreign, it must be cool, and Toronto.
That's the whole thing. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be perceived as,
With the Raptors, with the Blue Jays, with Drake, with Vince Carter, The Weeknd, it's significantly growing.
Well, I'll tell you, Stephan, now you brought that up, like, this thing has changed my life in so many ways. Like, never in a million years did I ever think I was going to, like,
be at the Stephan Dyer Podcast.
Yeah, we did some work for Live Nation.
Yeah.
We did some work for Sony recently. We did the Raptors Hispanic Heritage Night. We were approached. We said, could you work with us? And I said, absolutely. Then
TFC.
Because we knocked the Raptors thing out of the park, they gave us TFC. Then they're giving us a Barrio section 210, which we're filling up nicely.
Incredible.
And now we have a Barrio night at the TFC game, a Hispanic Heritage Night at the TFC game.
Incredible.
They're going to heavily donate to the Barrio Scholarship Fund.
That's what I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant, and it speaks to the type of person that you are. Because you could just sell these hats and things, and you're like, yeah, I'm the best, I'm the shit, I'm doing all these things by myself. But no, you go and create the Barrio Scholarship Fund to benefit kids in Toronto who want to have more access to educational opportunities.
Bro, so I meet with tons of people, man, and I met a lady from, I think, the Hispanic, I can't remember her name, man, but anyway, it was the Hispanic Bar Association, I think that's the name of the organization, and a lawyer, and we were discussing many things, and one of them was, she was just like, maybe you should use your brand to do this or that, and she was giving me these ideas, and I was like, you know what? You're right. And then she said something that really I'll never forget. She said, there's a lot of Hispanic kids out there that they don't even know how to apply because their parents would never know how to help them, right? They don't know how to apply. They might not even have money for the application process
of colleges or
yeah,
universities.
post-secondary.
Yeah.
And I was like, how about the guidance counselors? Like, some of them they don't even know that there's a guidance counselor. Like, just not aware of the resources available. And I'm like, fuck, man. I said, okay, we got to do something. And that's how it all started. And when I started, I tell you, man, like, it didn't take much to raise money. It didn't take much. People were all over that. And COVID happened. So that's why we kind of like, we're kind of, some of the businesses that wanted to donate, like, for example, let's just say even TFC, like, we're supposed to do something. It was supposed to be a give and take. I don't know. Maybe if I approach them and still say this is what's up, I'm sure they'll be okay with it. But there's other companies, that maybe right now they're not in a place to be able to donate that kind of cash. But there will be an award nonetheless. It may not just be what it was last year. But yeah, man. I mean, the first recipient, it was buddy. This guy was like 6'5". I went to his house. I met him and his mom. His mom was very teary-eyed. She was a wonderful lady. She's a wonderful lady. And
this guy was 6'5"?
Bro, 6'4". He's a football player. He's in BC. He was on a full ride scholarship. He went to Chaminade. This guy's he's a beast, man.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and so, buddy,
you hooked up the application, like you helped him out with the application.
No, I didn't help him. He was the winner of the Barrio Scholarship Fund.
And so, how does it work? Like, there's applicants, and then there's a recipient that gets the funds to go to post-secondary education.
No. So what happens is we got two dozen applications. But if I had like your kind of money, I would. If I would give everybody something, man. You know what it is? We have a committee. Yeah. Because there has to be a committee, because I don't want to be accused of like giving this to my cousin.
Like a board of directors, yeah.
Yeah. So we have a committee, so everyone's reading these applications, and so you read them, you're like, you get choked up. People got some stories, man. And the thing is, we make it clear. It's not like, when you don't have I don't want to say charity, but it's just not like, when you don't have enough money to apply for. It's not that type of fund. It's a fund. The applicant or the recipient would be someone who's has good grades, who's contributed positively to their community, and kept their grades up, stuff like that. That's who the recipient is going to be. It's not for someone who, although you can apply if you have those if you qualify in that aspect, but it's not like a fund where I don't have enough money to apply. Like, it's not that kind of fund.
So it's like the recipient is someone who has demonstrated skills and has gone above and beyond
skills,
in their communities and in whatever they want to specialize in. And this is basically like something to supplement, like a trampoline for them to go on to the next step.
Yeah, and so this guy here, man, like I'm telling you, he in grade 9 and 10 he was getting a lot of trouble. Then he joined the football team, and then he started mentoring youth, kids that were being bullied. He would go to elementary schools and talk to the grade 8 students because they were a little bit nervous about going to grade 9. But this guy's just an awesome kid, man, and well deserving of the award. And now he's kicking ass on the football field over there in BC, man. It's
incredible what we can do when you have Carlos Brito's type of money. No, it's incredible what we can do.
No.
with just raising your hand and being like, hey, I want to do this. Who's up? Who wants to help? And then a bunch, you know what I found out through this whole journey is like a bunch of people want to help, but they don't know how or where. And it takes people like you to be like, hey, I'm doing this. And then a bunch of people jump on board.
Yeah.
And dude, you literally changed this kid's life, like for the better. Yeah, obviously, he was already doing like great things, but you were reassuring, and you definitely gave him that trampoline to be like, you're on the right track, and we're supporting you. That's huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro. Like, there were some applicants where, single parent, and then even just the mom are just not doing well health wise, and you read these things, you're like, holy moly, man! I swear to God, I made my daughter read a couple of these, and I said, listen, they're better than you, but there's no excuse for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're reading some of these, you're like, buddy, you have no excuse, man. You better bring home good grades. Like, honestly, you know. Yeah, see it, bro. Like, you do what you can, man.
Talking about your daughter and your wife, I've seen them on your social media, even when I've seen you at festivals and other things where we've coincided. They're always behind the scenes helping you, man. And I just want to take this time to really congratulate them, because my wife is the producer of this podcast, and obviously I'm on stage most of the time. I'm getting like the people are mentioning me on social media. They're watching my comedy online. They come to the shows, and sometimes I'm getting all the accolades.
Yeah, Stephan, you're fantastic.
Yeah, but it's them, man. It's a huge part of them is them, like just silently behind the scenes rooting for you.
Yeah.
And I just want to take this time to congratulate both of them, because you can still do Barrio, and you can still be doing but it's not the same if they're not supporting you.
No, man, they have to be involved. They both are. One thing that my daughter and especially my wife, she doesn't like being on social media, but I still, when I have a picture of my wife, it's got to go through like a 5-stage process before it gets posted.
5 committees, more than the Barrio Scholarship Fund.
Yeah, man, it's like that. My daughter, sometimes, when I get something new, when something new arrives, in terms of like new merchandise, I was like, oh, put this on us. This way you could be like my model. She's like, no. I'm like, okay. Like, she'll wear it, but she doesn't want to be that, Yeah. And I'm like, whatever.
But it's fun. It's really cool that you have such a good name in the community, and you're doing great things for the community, because now that I have a kid, I start thinking about, how is he going to be in school? How can I support them? How can I make sure that they're not bullied? Or, you don't want them to go through rough things. And I think, and I'm sure, because I've heard so many people talk good things about you, that probably at her school, she's cooler because of the Barrio thing.
Yeah, well, certainly her friends do know, and even on her soccer team, they know that I'm like the Barrio guy. So, yeah, whether that makes her cooler, I don't know. I hope so. But, yeah, no, I completely get it. It's one of those things where, geez, it's just kind of like, it just changed my life, man. And you just roll with the punches. Again, no pause button. Which is unfortunate. Like, so even the days that you are sick or you're not up to it, man.
Or on vacation.
Yeah, you still gotta keep up with everything, and we're not at that stage where I can say, you got this, you got an HR department and you're hiring a whole group of people. But, who knows what the future holds, man. I mean, I think we're headed in the right direction. And that's it. Like, one of the, there's so many things. Like, I mean, I love it when I did a talk with OLAS, our Organization of Latin American Students of Ryerson, of York, of U of T, of Osgood, and all that stuff. And I was talking to them, and there's some of the kids that didn't hear about the brand, and that excites me, because it reminds me of how much more work I got to do.
Yeah.
And talking to these guys, I just think to myself, geez, man, like, I'm freaking bright, man. Like, bright kids, man.
Yeah.
And I was just so happy to be associated with them. And, they look up to me. And sometimes I think, like, geez, really? You know what I mean? Even my daughter's like, really? They think you're cool? So I'm like, yeah, man. So, you put in, this was recent, like, this was on Friday, you put some time in. I could wing it, but I said, I owe more than that. So you try to prepare.
Yes.
And, and if you can, I mean, they seem to be inspired by the story.
100%,
right?
Man. It's hugely inspiring.
Yeah. So I'm glad. I'm happy to share it.
I watched the CBC interview, and in it.
Oh, so bad. I wish I could
No,
go back
man, that's
and
incredible.
That.
Like, I'm a public speaking coach, and you spoke really well and really clearly. So did Nico P. But what I wanted to get at, also the Latinx interview, is that you talked about your parents and how they were trailblazers. They came home. They sacrificed a lot so that you and your brother could be here, be successful.
For sure.
Your brother is a Toronto police officer.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him in videos. I've met him a couple of times. Such a great guy.
Yeah.
And And you also thank your parents for laying the ground.
My mom was always that lady, man. Like honestly, she was always like, if there's any newcomers to like the building that we lived in growing up was all.
Was it in North York?
Yeah, Gina Finch.
Nice. Okay.
And was all for the most part Latin, and so it seemed like when people would come from different countries, they would come to this building, and I swear to you, my mother, man, with like colchas and whatever you can give, she would give it, you know. And you remember these things,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, you know.
It comes back to you, man.
Yeah,
it comes back
really, really does. And like I said, man, like when I first started the company, it was really all about the money. I didn't give a shit about anything. It was just to provide for my family.
Yeah.
I want to buy a nicer watch, you know what I mean, like, or whatever. As soon as I shifted my focus onto other things, because I knew, you know, because obviously the body thing was an outlet to have fun and be creative and do this. But things just, you know, also you get a little older and you meet different people, which is the great thing about this. The big takeaway here is the people that I've met on this journey,
along
like
the
yourself and Juan, bro. Like there's so many people that have like just, I don't know, just like with so much like to give, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And doing so many positive things. Like I look at Nico, man. This guy started a Latin app, Oye Latinos Latin app. Like it's so needed. There's no Latin app.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, like you're a genius. You know, Nico and his team, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's just, but I didn't know him before this. I didn't know some photographers, some restaurant owners. Like I get people messaging me all the time now, man. Like I met wonderful, wonderful people. You know?
I'm loving this, and you inspire them, and they inspire you. It's incredible what you're doing for the city, and I commend you for taking all that energy. I mean, because at the same time, it's tiring, man. It's demanding, and the money that you're making, you're also shifting it and making it into something good with the Barrio Scholarship Fund and your social media everywhere, man. I just see you doing good things. I want to end this trailblazing interview with the question that we ask everyone.
Dale.
And it's the champagne question.
Okay.
So it goes like this. If we were to meet a year from now with a bottle of champagne, what are we celebrating in Carlos Brito's life?
Oh, jeez, in my life.
In a year.
Yeah,
November
yeah.
2021, what are we celebrating?
Well, that's a good question. You know what? I think honestly, and I said these to the kids at the talk that I had on Friday, and I said, I guess the question was like, how do you define success, right? And I just think if you're happy doing what you're doing, and you're making money doing it, you're golden.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not really all about the money, but you got to be happy doing what you're doing, right? And it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you spend. That's the banker in me, right?
Yeah.
So I think I will be, because I'm gonna read both of those books that you recommended.
100%.
I'm definitely gonna be in a better place. So and I think the brand will be in a better place. So what would we be toasting to, right?
Yes.
We'd be toasting.
In your life, it could be like family
life.
related. It could be
Yeah.
like barrio related. It could be fitness related.
Yeah.
Vacation related.
You know what, man? It would really just be is to toast to family and friends.
Yeah.
It would be a toast to family and friends, because at the end of the day, you know what? I've sacrificed a lot, and not only myself. I'm sure every business person, including yourself.
Yeah.
You don't realize that you're stuck. That you're stuck, but you're so caught up in what you're doing. You're so caught up in the moment, and nothing's never good enough. Like I said, you made $1,000. What's next? I want to make 2,000. Or I'm at 1,000 followers. What's next? I want 2,000 followers.
Yeah.
Or I'm at this nightclub on Friday nights. Maybe I could get one more on Saturday nights. It never ends.
Yeah.
At the sacrifice of what? Of my family and friends. And then I had this thing in my head, because I know I have friends that I really close friends that I never spent really that amount of time with, because
Yes.
I'm too busy growing the company. And then I just thought to myself, no more new friends, because then I started meeting new people
Yes.
and hanging out with those new people.
Yes.
And I was like, I can't, you don't want to be that guy, man. I was like, no new friends. cultivate and maintain the ones that were with you the entire way through.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And let's not lose focus of that. And so that's why health, family, and friends, bro, I think that's always, at the end of the day, we could always come back to that and say, that's what we should be toasting to.
I agree, man. There's a guy, a fantastic person called Jason Gaynard. He has the Community Made podcast, and he says that he's read and he shared that you can only nurture at approximately 150 contacts at the same time. More than 150, it's too much.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I wanted to say is that in this entrepreneur journey, like you said, I got 1,000 followers, next 2,000, then 10,000, and then it's you're just extending the finish line all the time.
No, man,
and you're saying, okay, when I get here, I'll be happy. But the worst thing you can do is like delay happiness. It sounds stupid, but don't do it. And at the same time, comparing yourself to others is the epitome of being miserable. Because there's always going to be someone that's better than you, or more followers, or more successful, or more fit, whatever. Just be grateful. That's why I have this little book called the 5-Minute Journal, that it's a gratitude journal, where you just write 3 things that you're grateful for every morning. Then you write 3 things that would make today amazing. Then you write a small affirmation, I am something. And then at night, once the day has gone by, at night you say, it asks you, what are 3 amazing things that happened today? And what is one thing that I could have done better today?
Yeah.
So it just allows you to give you that self-awareness, which is the greatest gift that you can give yourself.
So important, self-awareness, buddy.
It's huge. And be more grateful. And like you said, don't look sideways, just look forward, laser focus.
Yeah.
And this is what you've done, man. You've done great things for the community.
Thank you, man. And hey, you know what? And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you and Juan both for Mal Pensando. And I know you guys got something big coming up, man, with that
the documentary,
with
yes.
that doc. Like, that's incredible. And I actually I just gotta figure it out. I want to post something nicely about that too. So, we'll continue to chat about that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I think you're leaving an incredible legacy. It's a big word, but you are leaving an incredible legacy for the Hispanic Canadian community. And I think Barrio, I said it a bunch of times, but it feels like a home away from home. And I think we all have to thank you for that.
Well, you know what? Sometimes I think, I'm so caught up in it that I don't realize it. But then sometimes when I have an opportunity to sit back and think about it, you realize, wow, man, like, you've come a long way, and this is what you've done in the community, and what you've mean to certain people, and this is what you can still continue to do, right? So still a lot of work to do, but we're gonna get there.
Hey, I appreciate it. There's a quote, and this is how we're gonna end the podcast. It's by Tony Robbins, and he says, "I used to achieve to be happy. Now I happily achieve." This is a Stephan Dyer podcast. Carlos Brito, the Barrio CEO, and Stephan Dyer. Thank you very much. Gracias por escuchar el Stephan Dyer Podcast. Arrivederci, my people.